Boo. Oh, okay. We're going down here. Boo. Welcome back, gangalang, gangalicious, to whatever we call this. Hi, Manu. I'm gonna post on my story that I'm here. Do. With a little link. I am sick. But the grind doesn't stop, does it? No. Hi guys, I have missed you too. I have been so sick. I was sick on the plane on the way back, and I have been in bed for 2 days. I am still sick, but I'm getting better. I know that because I can... Hi, Terry, I love you too. I know that because I can hear out of my right ear now. I previously couldn't. So we are gonna take... Because I was just so congested, it wouldn't pop. It didn't pop on the plane. If you can hear my congestion, I'm not surprised. Hello. We are going to take it a little bit easy today, just because of, if I'm looking here, I'm looking at your chat. If I'm looking here, I'm looking at the screen. So it's a big range, but I'm not ignoring you. I am glad I'm back too. How is everybody? Give me an emoji on how you are feeling this fine afternoon. Oh, we just ran toothless into a wall. I had a good short joke, but I feel bad being mean to the ill. Wonky has a conscience, everybody. Oh, we're freeing the squirrel. Hi, Steven. Steven, if nobody caught that, Steven changed his name to La Pose, which, to my understanding, means what we think it means, unless it's a Greek word that I don't know, which is fairly possible. So, is my thing lagging? Because I think I'm going to do tomorrow... What? How to Train Your Dragon themes or Last of Us themes? Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Those are like the two ultimate franchises. I was so sick these past couple days. And I bet y'all know about it because I didn't like not complain. I was very verbal about my pain. In a way that was very public as well. I've snot rocketed many tissues this morning as well, and so if I mute, it's either to hack up a lung or snot out a whole salmon from my nose. And I'm sure that visual was also helpful. I am a little bit better, and I'm grateful. Layla went to work today sick too. So if she shows up in stream, be sure to wish her condolences. The picture that I sent you, they cost... Oh, wow. Thank you, Manu. You met a cute non-evil masked lesbian who has a crush on you? Those are rare. I'm really happy for you, actually. I mean, non-evil anybody is rare in this generation. Word to the wise, when you're flirting back, say, compliment her, and don't compliment the fact that she's not evil as, like, a reason that you love her. Never do that. Izzy, I forget that you are 13. I was like, oh. But, like, if I appreciate being an example for people, so that's one thing, but if Quinn was like, I love you because you're not abusive, I'd be like, oh, well, that's actually not that hard. I feel like I would hope that there were more qualities that were just me that you would love. Hi, Yella. Oh, okay. Running away. I feel like not very many people gave me very many emojis. I went to 2 classes this morning. Against my will, I went to 2 classes. They were mandatory, so it's a good thing I went, but still, I regret it. I remind you of Finn Wolfhard. Ugh, I need to stop getting that. I've been getting that since I was 15, and I really hate that. At least I'm not the one starting an AI startup and praising Israel, am I right? Am I right, gang? I did it better than my teachers like 20 years in German. Oh, wow. I feel like Manuel is not that hard to say. There's not a lot of excuses for that. Hey, been shot. Anyways. You've been struggling to decide which one? I would go with... Honestly, you can only get away with doing How to Train Your Dragon themes for so many years while you're young. Do How to Train Your Dragon while you can. There are many years for The Last of Us. Oh, please somebody save Wonky. Guys, I know a lot of subs ran out while I was gone, and I apologize. A lot of you have ads now. Maybe... Oh. That's the first time I've died in a very long time. Maybe someone will be very nice to you and sub... Manu? What did Manu do? Thank you, Manu, for whatever he did. What did he do? Oh, you subbed Wonky. Thank you, Manu. See, that's what I was just about to say. Since you've socialized like this, are my streams really that different for your life? Like, are my streams really important for y'all's social lives? I'm so curious. Izzy won't even remember us in 5 years. Let's be for real. Okay. God, I'm losing it. This week, I need to study for 2 finals. 3, actually. And pack up my dorm and leave. I got some boxes from Home Depot. That was a sleigh. That was a good thing for me to do. They're all piled up right over there. Oh no. Phew, I caught myself. No, don't spoil Stranger Things, I haven't seen it. In full honesty, my room is such a wreck that if I moved the camera around, I can barely move the camera around. And if I tried, it would get in the way of stuff. And if I showed you my room right now, you might all leave me. For fear I'd gone mad. Guys, it's okay to have a messy room sometimes. it's okay to have a congested nose. It's okay to have a messy room. It's okay to not quite know what your next move is gonna be. Yeah, well, I've tried so many times to get the motivation to clean it. Threats won't work. Please don't do that. I might... No. My friend with the kind of OCD that... I have a friend with the kind of compulsive OCD that makes her, like, obsessively clean things to the point where it's like she can't relax if there's a single dish in the sink. And I showed her a picture of my room to see what that would do, and she nearly exploded. And so I was motivated at that point to clean for a little bit. That's you. Oh, it's Layla. Guys, everyone wish Layla condolences for being at work while sick. Manu, that would be insane. But I would be so grateful. Cam, you're here! I haven't seen you in so long. I told you I would mute for that, but I forgot for just a moment because I was distracted. Judas. At least I have my normal vocal cords to a point. My nose is clogged, but my vocal cords are intact. No more froggy. Oh, I accidentally ignored so many people while I was sick. Sub? Sub from who? Steven sub? Thank you, Steven. Yeah, Steven has chosen a life of La Poussée. Guys, I actually got a Skrill in this game. I just choose to be... Come on. No. Equip. There we go. Am I feeling any better? A little bit. I am feeling better. My fever is down. It's still a high temperature, but it's not technically a fever anymore. I'm still taking it easy because a high temperature for me is really high. I naturally have, like, it's weird. Like, it's kind of weird, but I have a naturally lower body temperature ever since I was a kid. My mom would keep me home if I was above 99 instead of 100 because I would have a naturally 97 body temperature instead of 98.6. And so if it was above a 99, my mom considered that a fever for me. Which sounds like something little kids say to get out of school, but that was genuinely true. Manu, I would be so fucking grateful. You are such a goat. Time with Quinn was so fun. I accidentally got her sick, and I feel so bad. But she'll be okay. Return to Burke. Let's get up there. Teleport. Okay. You missed the one live we had? Well, we had 2. I guess more like 1.5. I don't know if she deleted that VOD. Oh. No, we didn't stream on mine this time. I wanted to, but we ran out of time, and then we had that whole freak out about the flights. It was just so interesting. Thank you for the gay bits. 300. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, my Skrill has no life, no points or anything. It's a woodwork thing, so you don't actually, but okay. What do you mean? What? You don't actually what? You only know we're live from Discord notifications? It doesn't tell you? That sucks. Hi there. Hello, everyone. Hey, hey, everybody. Everybody, hey, hey. I have to make sure my wife isn't texting me. We're having another TikTok mishap. Every time it's my job to upload something, I swear to God, TikTok wants to get me in trouble with my wife. She's never actually mad, but like, it'll automatically set it to who can view this post, only you. And so if I don't change that, it ruins the traction, and I can't change it in time for it to give everyone a notification. Thank you. It's super annoying. And then when it posts, it might not do the story, things won't upload. My phone is the better phone for this, supposedly, but it just hates us a lot. Bye-bye. Have fun with whatever you choose to do. And then there's like the whole... We're like superstitious on what will make it do bad, or switching accounts and stuff. I feel like when we are married, we're gonna look back on this time and be like, wow, we are such dorks for thinking that's what marriage felt like. That's my top artist on Spotify Wrapped. I don't actually use Spotify. I use Apple Music. I know. I need to get Spotify, but I have Apple Music for free, both because I'm a student and because I have a family plan with my father. I thought I just ended these guys. Do they respawn? If I don't do it fast enough? Oh yes. Fuck AI. Guys, if you haven't yet, go see my story about how to stop Meta from using your DMs for AI. I actually haven't gotten around doing that yet. I just saw that and I was like, people need this. AIs. Go. Shoot. Fireball. Go. Fireball. No, it's not technically a mental health stream, even though I'm fully aware that this is the game we play for mental health streams. I might start, I'm not gonna lie, in a minute. It depends on the mood. The king is here. It's King Nuri. Oh my god, stop respawning. I hate you. Not Nuri. I hate the targets. In case that wasn't clear, I am not talking about Nuri. Hello, Kaelin. Me Instagram, 1005. Be good. What is your great news? Ugh. Jesus. By the way, guys, Christmas season is officially here. Therefore, you all need to be listening to Christmas music, but also keep people in check. Everyone who's arguing Christmas traditions should be kept sacred because they're just for Jesus. Anything with Christmas trees, reindeer, cinnamon, cranberries, all of those things are actually Yule, not Christianity. They stole them from paganism. Every Christmas tradition that isn't strictly, like, Catholic Christian, like, about Jesus specifically, not put a Jesus spin on it, but is it not explicitly about Jesus, is pagan. You're going to Rome soon? Cool. Is that the name of the girl, Yella? Um. Aww, that's cute. Yella has a crush. So, if you see a tradition and Christians getting all uppity about make Christmas about Christ again, take away their Christmas trees, because that is not Christian. That's pagan, and pagan, according to them, is demonic. Or we can share Christmas and it can be for everyone. No? No sharing? You had a dream we met in Rome? Aww. I wish we met in Rome. Next time I'm in Rome, I'll hit you up. Guys, I've been learning a lot about non-canonical gospels, and I'm going to continue doing that after stream, because that's fascinating. If you are a Christian, I highly encourage you to look at the parts of the Bible that people just decided to leave out one year, and it wasn't because God told them to, it was just because they did that, because they decided that it wasn't beneficial to what they were trying to say with the Bible. Yes, they, as in people, because people did choose. But the Gospel of Judas is especially strange because they took it out of the Bible. And in the Gospel of Judas, the world actually wasn't created by God. So basically there were angels, and those angels had kids. And so God made angels, and the angels had kids. And one of those kids, so basically God's grandkid, was basically like a troll of an angel. Not physically, like he loved mischief, and I forget what his name was, but he liked to cause pain because it was funny to him, and he was the person that created mankind. And so and Jesus was laughing at his disciples because his disciples were like, "You're the son of this angel," when Jesus was like, "No, I'm not. I was sent by the actual God." And everyone on earth was like, "You're the son of the creator of man." He was like, "No, I'm not. I'm the son of the actual God who despises that guy." And told Judas that, because Judas was supposedly the only one who even knew that and would acknowledge that. And so, but those characters are all just kind of promotes demon behavior. That's really funny, Izzy. But they just kind of took that out, deleted those characters, blah blah blah. Oh, and demonized Judas, of course. Because also in the Gospel of Judas, Jesus is like, this is gonna happen whether you take the silver or not. I mean, you might as well take some silver, why don't you? And Judas was like, okay. But then, in the version of the Bible we have now, Judas did that to Jesus, like it was a betrayal. Originally, in the older Gospels, it wasn't a betrayal. It was just a choice for him to be the one. Jesus was a very different person in older scripts we have, and I highly encourage you to check that out. A lot of what you'll find is uncharacteristic, supposedly, of Jesus, because Jesus, first of all, oh, and also, did you guys know, okay, raise your hand in the chat if you were educated on Christian stuff, were raised Christian, are a Christian, or just pretty much know what I'm talking about. Like, you don't have to be one, but if you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Jesus in the Bible, raise your hand in the chat so I know who I'm talking to. Okay. So, Now give me a thumbs up if you... Yeah, Jesus was brown, but give me a thumbs up if you remember the story about the Israelites being enslaved in Egypt for like 40 years. Or 400 years. Okay. So, interestingly, scholars believe that never happened. And here's why. Hear me out. Can you hear me over the music, or do I need to turn it down? Scholars truly think this legitimately never happened because, first of all, there's zero record of the Israelites being in Egypt. There are no Egyptian records of that. So here's why this is important. Egyptians were like insane record keepers. They kept records of death, they kept records of life, they kept records of bones, of animals, of slaves, of people. It wasn't just the pharaohs that got turned into mummies, it was everyone and everything. So not only are there zero bones of Israelites or anyone of Israeli descent, there are no records of anyone being kept. There are no records of that. They kept records of everyone they kept, and there's none of that. And you might be thinking, well, there's records of trade. You might be thinking, well, what if they just wiped the records? They didn't want anybody to know that the Israelites were there, so they just destroyed the evidence. We actually can see that the Egyptians were really bad at destroying evidence because of how dutifully they kept all their records. They couldn't destroy images of certain rulers. There was one guy who wanted to destroy everything of his mom because everyone respected her more than him. They didn't do it. We already know a ton about her. They wanted to destroy records of, it was a certain god that they wanted to destroy. So not even something real that they wanted to destroy records of, and we still know all about him because of how many records they kept of him. I am in college, I'm studying communications. So Egyptians destroying evidence of 400 years of slavery. It might not have been 400. I don't forget if it was 40 or 400, but it wouldn't matter. The amount of evidence they would have to destroy and the amount of good at it they would have to be is just so unrealistic. Also, there's no evidence of a mass exodus either. So if they were crossing the sand, the amount of length that they would have to cross, I forget the names of this stuff, so bear with me. If you know the names, add the names for me. Where they were crossing was desert for 40 years, right? There's no evidence of that. Also, the amount of them, it's kind of a small desert. So if they were 5 people across, like let's say they walked in a 5-person across line, by the time some of them got to the end of this place they were supposedly walking for 40 years, there would still be people leaving that place. It wasn't big. Certainly not big enough to wander for 40 years. And so, we're like, how'd that happen, you know? Because maps back then would have allowed for that, but they weren't accurate maps. They were just maps people made. And the closest thing in the Bible where we can be like, there must be evidence of this because they knew that Egyptians had copper lamps. Israel was the one supplying them with the copper lamps. Like, that's it. The records of the copper lamps, the export of Israel was copper. You didn't even have to live in Egypt to write that, to know that they had that. Like, that was the trade coming from Israel. Scholars firmly believe now that this didn't happen. So, either this was a metaphor in the Bible for something that did happen and something that we wanted to take a lesson from instead of the actual story, or it's all made up. It wasn't that long ago. Like, there would still... This isn't some, like, super ancient history. We would have still been able to find plenty of evidence of it. We find evidence of more dinosaurs than confirmed Bible stories. Those types of things irk me, because even the things that are like, and this many witnesses... Okay, so by Israel, I mean Israelites, or the Jewish people that were talked about in the Bible. Not like the land. They do go instantly to the owner, yes. Because you're right, Israel, the country, has only been here for, I think, less than 100 years, right? Even though there's a big history there that I haven't spoken on. But anyways, I'm still learning about this. But even the things in the Bible that are like, he said this and Jesus did this and there were 500 witnesses. If you think about that, where are the 500 witnesses? It's not 500 witnesses. It's somebody saying that there were 500 witnesses. So is that 500 witnesses, or is that one witness claiming there are more? How are these responding so fast? I feel like this isn't fair. I would love to do a mythology deep dive. I'm still learning, and so... well, yes, they did die, Nuri, because that was so long ago. Obviously, they'd be dead by now. But there's no account from them. So I can... Imagine if I was like... No, seriously. Today, I rode a dragon right outside my school. There were 500 people there that saw. But you never talked to any of the 500 people. There were no accounts from 500 people. I just said that there were 500 people that saw me. And you never confirmed that. Thank you, Izzy. And so that's what I'm getting at, is that the 500 witness thing isn't really a good account of anything, because that's just one witness saying that there were 500. It reminds me a little bit of something Donald Trump would say. Everybody saw it. Everybody would see it. Thousands of people would show up. Thousands of people loved me. You can ask anybody, any of the 5,000. Any of the 5,000 that were there. They all love me. And we never hear from any of them. You know? Now, what I am not doing is comparing Jesus Christ to Donald Trump. I genuinely do respect the teachings of Jesus. I think that if everyone actually followed the teachings of Jesus, I really wouldn't have a problem with Christianity at all. Jesus was not, and there's really no way to swing this, a bad person. I'm okay with Jesus, and I believe that he was a real person. At least so far. If I change my mind on Jesus, I'll let you know. Is there a way to kill this ship? No. Exactly, Nuri, that's what I'm saying is faulty. I don't think it's... I want to know what he said that got cut off, because I didn't see his whole message. But I don't think that it's fair to say that, because I could also write a book and say that. I too could do such things. Also, we don't actually know who wrote a lot of the Bible. Some of it is confirmed, and some of it are people using pen names and lying and saying they are those people that we know. Paul did not write a lot of the Bible that is credited to him. Paul was not alive when Jesus was teaching. Paul writing about Jesus simply didn't happen. Like, first witness accounts about Jesus simply did not occur. Blah. I know. Look. Here's my evidence for discovering fact over religion. Okay, I'm not talking to people who believe both coexist. For those of you who do believe that, you have pretty complex beliefs, and I can respect that. However, the ones who think religion over fact anytime science comes out with something, but the Bible wasn't made by one person in one moment. It's a collection of writings preserved. Yes, but only some. Most writings were left out. Racism is stupid, yes. I don't know how we got on that, but I agree. My argument to that is that for people who would believe the Bible over any new scientific discovery we make, if everything was gone, if all religious texts were erased, and if humanity had to start from scratch, we would slowly discover the same science over and over again. Everything we know about the world as it is would slowly be discovered over and over again in the exact same way. However, religion would be completely different every time. We would not have the Bible exactly as it is twice. We don't even have the Bible exactly as it is once. No one can agree. Can you say something respectful? Can you send that message again? I missed it. My bad. I was shooting a target. We don't have somebody named John Luke. Can you send the other half? You're baptized evangelical, but you just don't care at all. Is that bad? No. Why would you care? Like, look at those reasons. Do you feel obligated to care by God, by people? If it's anything other than yourself, then it doesn't matter. In my personal opinion. Everything other than John and Luke got cut off from somebody's message, and I would love to read the rest of it, but I can't. Just send the second half, and I'll know what the first half was. Yeah, Wonky, that's what I mean. Like, if we had to start completely over without the Bible, we would still discover dinosaurs, and we would still make cars, and we would still discover evolution in the same way. However, we would not know about Jesus. And honestly, I don't know if that hits for many Christians, that hits home, because everything they believe is set on the fact that there's a plan for everything. So of course it only happened once, because it was only supposed to happen once. once, because God chose it to happen once. Duh. But for anyone with perspective of the whole world and other realities as they could have happened, assuming there isn't one set plan for everything, this makes much more sense. Oh yeah, for sure. We would have basically saying the first witness is false. I'll have to look into that, but I don't doubt it. There's just so much. Here's Christianity in a nutshell. Read your Bible, and then you'll know the truth. But don't read any other religious texts. And so then you're like, well, I'm going to be a person and a Christian who doubts sometimes and has a little bit of critical thinking. I understand the Bible, I feel like. Even if I haven't read it in its entirety, I understand it. So I think I'm going to learn about other religions and why mine's right. And this is definitely the first religion that I've, encountered, or even if I wasn't raised religious, this is the first person that found and evangelized me. But, so you go and you read other texts, and you're like, huh, it's kind of similar, but they seem to have the wrong message, We believe this stuff, they believe that stuff. They're probably still going to heaven, or maybe they're not, but they chose wrong, because I still believe mine. But it is a little similar, weirdly. And then you get told out of the blue by somebody, wait, there's parts of the Bible that aren't in the Bible? And then you have a choice, and you can either acknowledge that and look into that and study that, and see why they were taken out and start that journey, or you can go, I trust them, and accept your Bible as it is. And I feel like that's where a lot of people stay in the faith and where a lot of people leave it, because once you realize why a lot was taken out of the Bible, why some was put into it, why someone might have faked some of it, and what might actually just be a metaphor. A lot of people get perspective on what religion is as a whole, which to me is, my hand is on my chest, to me is a sense of comfort, community, and belonging, rather than a sense of, it's not there to, it's a sense of having answers, which goes into comfort, community, and belonging. Because that's what you'll find in all religions, and in all religions you'll find that you'll find power. You will find power dynamics in all religions. Buddhism is an exception. However, Buddhism isn't really a religion, it's a lifestyle. But you will find unfair power dynamics in every... Aw, your cat... What's your cat's name, Nuri? You will find power dynamics in every religion. So, whether that be a priest, men as a whole, usually it's that, as well as a lot of other things. The Pope, a leader in a lot of cults. Oh, his name is Gray. That's cute. And then you start to realize, oh, this is why this is still here, this is why it survived so long, and this is how it changed over time to fit how humanity wanted it to fit. And then you'll get this inspiration like, I need to tell everybody about this, and that's where I am at the moment. So, I'm still learning about it, and I'm happy to take y'all on that journey with me. And some people really aren't relationship with God, but they weren't religious. They separated the two and said they follow something. That's fair. Organized religion, stepping away from organized religion is a step, yeah. Sorry. Some people really aren't ready. I'm feeling kind of sick, but I'm feeling vindicated speaking about this. Some people just aren't ready yet to let go of their religion. I wasn't for a minute, and I was raised very heavily in it. I needed it to be true, not because I necessarily believed it or had a relationship with God, but I needed it to be true because I needed there to be something out there. I needed there to be something after I died, and I needed there to be something good taking care of me. Like, I needed somebody to know, what was up. My opinion on reincarnation is that it's not real, but, I mean, believe what you want. How was it splitting up from the cult with my family? Oh, sorry, 1 second. Ooh, my nasals are not feeling good. My sinuses are clogged as fuck. Okay. Separating the cult from my family, it's hard, but it's worth it. Somebody asked another question, I missed it. What was it? About religion. I finally did it. I killed them all. Aw. You're kidding me. Is my family still religious? Some of them yes, some of them no. And actually, okay, all of them kind of. Do you think if you learn about other religion, you like one better than your own, would you change my religion? Like, would I have or would I now? Like, are you asking current me or would I have in the past? Is Satanism a religion? No. It's people making fun of Christians, trying to make them think that there's Satanist religion. There isn't. You're getting trolled. Current me? I don't have a religion right now. I'm explaining why. No. There is... Look. If there is a God, and he came down here and he was like, hey guys, it's me, and then actually performed a bunch of miracles that we have proof of, then I guess there's no denying that. But it's not about liking a religion, it's about the inability to believe something that doesn't seem to be true. Like, if I was just gonna pick one I liked, I would pick the one that had the most privilege and the least suffering, you know? If I was gonna pick a religion I liked just to feel comfortable in, I would pick, I think, evangelical but progressive Christianity, because they are self-proclaimed accepting of everyone, and it's the least amount of stuff you have to do for the greatest reward of heaven. So if I wanted to just feel comfortable, that's what I would choose. If I was a little bit more rigid with myself and I was raised differently and if I thought that works were part of, like, if I was like, I need to earn my place in heaven at all, then I would choose either Judaism or Islam, so that I could feel like I was making a sacrifice and doing the right thing every time I didn't want to. Because there's a lot more rules there. If I wanted it to be a fully personal experience without the community, Nuri, if God has a plan for you, nobody has free will. If God planned anything out, nobody has free will, by the way. But if I wanted it to be fully personal and I just wanted a relationship with myself spiritually, then I would choose Buddhism. If I wanted to be in a little bubble and only stick with people who were I know you love these, Layla. If I only wanted to stick with people who thought like me, and I wanted to if I wanted to both work for it, feel like I was righteous more so than most of the world, and only be with people who thought like me for the rest of my life, I would be a Jehovah's Witness. If I wanted the most choice, not as in lifestyle, but as in importance, like what takes most importance in my life, I would choose Hinduism, I think. But if God didn't force every action, then how does he have a plan? God has a plan, but it's your will if you want to follow it. Okay, but what are the events that he's placing the plan around? My honest opinion on Islam? Give me like 2 minutes, guys. I'm gonna blow my nose. Oh, okay. Okay, so try to keep it here because you're kind of young, so I want to keep most conversations public if I can. But I would love to give you advice on that. How, Kenzie? My honest opinion on Islam, I think that it is more works-based than Christianity. I think that it has a lot of the same principles. I think that, I mean, I understand the difference of course, being that the holy people are prophets, not the Son of God. You can wait until Monday. I'm happy to answer in a minute if you want to tell me now. I think that it's kind of oppressive towards women specifically. And don't at me, because I've talked to people about this before, and what I know to be true is that it takes choices away and glorifies a role that not everyone would choose naturally. So, is it necessarily... There are extremists in Islam, obviously. I'm not really talking about those people. We all know those people are crackpots, including most people who follow Islam. I'm not referring to those, and I'm sure that we can just save ourselves a lot of time by not acknowledging them in this conversation. However, when talking about women, the language is a lot more dismissive, and any culture created where problems of women have to be up to the man, even if you... This is such a hard thing to talk about, because what some people consider glorification and a sacredness of something is actually oppression to other people. So, like, even if you consider childbearing and staying in the home as some, like, coveted, honorful role, that, you know, is a privilege to have, and even if it was, like, something that should be worshipped, it doesn't offer choice. And that is oppression. And so even if that's something that was well respected, if there's no choice not to do that, then that's where I get pretty suspicious of it. Because to you, that might be like, well, we do honor women. What do you mean? We give them exactly the role that they were meant to have, and we don't expect anything more of them. We give them the space to have that role and that role alone, so that they can focus on that one thing that they were made to do, and they should follow these rules so that they can do that thing better. Like, we've spent so much time on this. Even if it is well intended, which I am only vaguely implying that it might be, even if it's well intended, it's not giving control or power to the women. It's not. Many women might choose that, and that's their prerogative. Hell if I care. It's not my body, and not my choice. Like, if you want to be a wife and mother all your life, and that's all you aspire to be, go ahead. You are culinary. I don't care. Do it. Power to ya. But if I was in your shoes and I didn't have the choice to do something else, like if I didn't want to have kids, or I wanted to marry a woman, or I wanted to not get married, and that wasn't something that society had built room for, really, like if that wasn't something that I was able to do because of the way the society and religion was built, then I would view that as kind of oppressive. Even if that doesn't mean that we should demonize it. It's disappointing to hear? Well, tell me why. This is a conversation. That doesn't mean we need to demonize people who believe that. They're not intending harm. It's just oversight and negligence to something. Islam doesn't say that women should stay in the home. It's the opposite, actually. There's a huge difference between Islam. Okay, that was an example. Okay, I should have said that better. You're right. I shouldn't have used that example. because that's something that Christianity is big on, and out of habit, I chose something that Christianity was big on. But that culture isn't really built for women to be independent, is it? Independent of men is what I mean. And by independent of men, I mean able to have their own lives outside of marriage, outside of having kids, and, like, okay. Are you a woman, by the way? That's important, and I don't know that. Okay. Well, what I have seen of Islamic culture, two numbers between 1 and 40, 32 and 7. Okay. When I use culture, I mean Islamic, the religious culture, like the culture within the religion, not where you might be geographically mixed with your religion. Most religions have this in common, no? Yeah, because there's always a power dynamic. You are a woman, you don't want... Why did it cut you off so soon? Can you send me the rest of that message? Do I go to religious school? I do. Do I partake in it? I want kids, and I want my own thing, and it's fine. So, yeah. Okay. Is that common, though? Islam is also super broad. Like, there's so many little... Like, there's... I feel like it's really hard to talk about it as a whole, because it also depends on where you are. Because there are people... I know for a fact that there are people who that is not common for. And so, maybe it's different for where you live. Why do I go to religious school if I don't believe? My parents. They're paying for my college at the moment, and that's what they said they would pay for. Yeah, I'm getting out of it. It's a whole thing. But... Yeah, so you know how... some Christians think that, like, let's see, what's one extremist Christian belief? Some Christians believe all gay people are going to hell no matter what, and all women should do everything all men tell them to do. And some Christians believe the exact opposite. There are some Christians that believe you are going to heaven whether or not you even believe in God. Honestly, I think about Islam in some of the same ways. Yeah, I would agree with that. A lot of people, especially, it tends to be men that use it as an excuse to force their will on women. Yes. That was a lot of push-ups. And that's awful. I have had some friends who are Islamic, and that I have not read the Quran myself, so for a large extent that's what I know about it, and so I'm speaking from what I saw with them. I had a friend in high school. She was one of my best friends, and she was Islamic, but she was gay. And her parents said they would rather her die because of her mental health than be gay. And I know that that's not always what it's like. So you don't have to tell me, like, that's extreme. Because I know it is. They're crackpots. But I know for a fact, though, that it exists. I know that it exists, and that's why I'm suspicious, really, of all religion, because I know that that exists in all of them, you know? What are the reasons I don't believe? Okay, have you been here the whole VOD? Have you been here the whole time? Like, what do I need to rehash? Okay, so I feel like I listed a lot of reasons. What more is there? Why do you believe? Also, geographically, I feel like you belong to whatever religion you were born in. And that's not always true. I know that. I know that people convert midlife. I know that people convert because of other people they've met. I know that happens all the time. But for the vast majority of people, the religion you were born in is the religion that you stay in. That is a wonderful take on Islam. I know some people in Islam who believe that, and I know that some people believe that the exact opposite, and that it's okay to assault people to humiliate them, specifically women. So there are extremists, and I'm not saying that those people are the standard, because I know that they are not. And that is not what shaped my view of Islam. I just know that it exists. And that is harmful. So back to my geographical point. Thank you, Kim. That's very helpful. When we were just tribes, when you look at native tribes who have never been in some mass organized religion, you see that their gods are kind of based around the needs that they are near, you know? So, I mean, native Alaskans created gods of the ocean because they're near an ocean, gods of fish because they're near fish. Their gods had the heads of creatures that were nearby because that's what they knew, you know? And so every culture kind of had its own spin. Most cultures did have a god of the sun, but that's, again, something everyone experienced was the sun. And same with the Egyptians. They had, there are thousands of gods that no one worships anymore. But people did worship for thousands of years. And so to say that you have the one true God in a religion that is newer than the old ones is kind of a risk, honestly. And of course every religion is like, no, we've been around forever, here's why, and here's our creation story, and here's where we've been since. But if you can't look at historically where that was, and you weren't there. In full honesty, you weren't there. You have no way to know if your religion actually just took that from somebody else. And we have proof that several of them did, including Christianity, which borrowed from pretty much everyone. Did you know that the Christian creation story, like the very first thing, obviously nobody was there. How would they have written that? It was actually written to oppose the Babylonian one, which is filled with gods that, again, no one worships now, because Christianity took over, because their story was better. If you are curious, please go look up the Babylonian creation myth and be like, huh, It's a pretty cool realization. But yeah. If you believe the religion you were born in, it's... Can you share a verse you think I'd like from what? Yeah, exactly. The Christmas tree was pagan. Most Christmas traditions that aren't strictly Jesus were pagan. Christmas trees, reindeer, pagan. Every like Christmas decoration, pagan. All of them. Except like nativity scenes. You're gonna have to say the second half again. Santa was Satanic, so that's Catholic. You were lenient with them, and if you'd been rude and harsh in heart, they would have disbanded about you. Yeah. My God, my throat. It's like all in the back of my nose. I'm not getting anything when you hear me snorting. Nothing's coming down. It's literally just the noise and me feeling it. I'm nothing hot, no. Sadly. I agree. I agree with that quote, but I don't think that the point you're making is the point you want to be making. So, basically what I hear when you read that is... I have no steams, no. What I hear when you read that is... when you're manipulating somebody, you can't come off too strong, or they won't believe you. Which, you know, probably to you sounds kind of offensive, but that's genuinely what I'm hearing. The Bible also has similar verses like that. I know it is, but I don't have steam right now. I'm not gonna pause stream and go start a shower. And that's the only source of steam, really. Right, but, I mean, if my assumption is correct, it's in the context of you're giving religious advice to someone and talking to them about God, right? Islam is hard to... Can you say that one again? Islam is hard to disprove what? Primitive taken things from the religion. You know what? I need to do more research on that. So that I have more specific things to tell you. Okay, I do have a question. And this isn't like a gotcha moment. I do have a question for anyone who follows Islam in my chat. It's a genuine question. Like this is something I've judged the religion on, but I'm not judging right now. I'm not judging you for following it for sure. I just want to know your take. Did Muhammad not marry a child? How old was Aisha? Because some of it sounds like she might have been 6 years old or 9. So she was 17. Where does it say she was 17? Nuri, it's a Islamic prophet named Muhammad. Like, doesn't the Quran say she was a kid? Yeah, doesn't it say that? One time I was arguing with somebody, and he goes, the Quran says women can't drive. And then that was the moment I realized, okay, you're not even representing your own religion very well. I'm not... Like, it was at that point that I took his opinion and shoved it away from the religion. Because I was like, you're not even... You don't even know the religion you're talking about. Like, you know it worse than I do, and you're the one in it. So that was just one experience, and I just needed to share that with you, because that was really funny. Guys, if you think that your holy book from thousands of years ago is talking about automobiles, please develop some thinking. People of the Arabic Peninsula started counting age once somebody hits puberty. Oh. Okay. But isn't there a verse about her playing with dolls? I'm gonna look further into that, because I'm not just gonna take a chat I get without, like, a grain of salt. But I have to say that makes more sense than people just following a guy that did that. At the very least, it makes more sense that people would trust it. Izzy, I hope you remember that assignment for many years. Wait, what did Nuri say? Thank you, Kim. All of the Quran? Or the completed Quran? Manu, I would honestly think that you definitely grew up speaking English. Can you say it now? Let's wait until the religious stuff dies down, and then yeah, totally. There's a lot of fear-mongering going on about Islam at the moment, and so I'm wary to point out faults in that one specifically, in the stage that I'm in the place that I'm in, with the privilege that I have. Of course, anything faulty deserves to be pointed out. However, I am well aware that I need to be careful when talking about it. Oh, that's sweet, Manu. Because, I mean, even on just social media, people are portraying all of the people who are in Islam, which is, by the way, a crap ton. Mental health extremists soon. As extremists. And that's not the case. And at the very least, people are like, well, we don't want the immigration from Islam because then they'll all make it Islam. And it's like, okay, no. Especially if you got cut off again. And then, secondly, even if you argue past that very misguided point, then it's, well, if you let everyone in, then you're gonna let the extremists in. We already have extremists. We already do. Especially if I know, exactly. That sentence in and of itself is extremist in a way, but I would like to know from the Islamic people here, what percentage of, aside from that, there's actual historical evidence from common practices that confirms Aisha. I hate it when these things get cut off. I want to know what percentage of the Islamic population you believe would an average American, so probably Christian, maybe nothing, think was extremist. Like, what percent of the people you have met would an average American meet and be like, that's an extremist? You know, I don't know, Layla. Did he have a winged horse? I don't know. We also need to keep in mind that all text was not widespread before pretty recently. And so having copies of something was very rare. And so there's like a lot of risk of things being mistranslated because, so if you have any holy text, there was a lot of risk for most of his existence for being mistranslated because A, everything had to be copied by hand, and whoever was copying it by hand could have changed it. We don't know, especially if they translated it, and no one would know. And second, there were only a few copies of everything. Like, mistranslation, misinterpretation, foul play. That happened a lot. And also, a ton of people were illiterate. And so even everyone was like, we remember this from the Bible, we remember that from the Bible. It's literally just oral remembering. Oh, Manu. It cut off. It literally cut off your name. That's sad. Sondus. Okay. Is that how I pronounce it? Like, okay. Do Islamic people look at their own extremists like Christians tend to? Like, Christians are kind of like, well, not them. They're not really Christians. They're just freaks over there. Really? Okay. That's, I mean, I assume, I had hoped so. I didn't want to assume so. Battles, yes. Battles are normally true in ancient text because there's records on both sides of them, so we can kind of like cross-reference. Even if the sides tend to differ when stating what happened, who won, but the fact that a fight happened is usually pretty obvious. It's lovely to meet you too. What would you consider extremist? Oh, Manu. He's such a sweet soul. You're welcome, Issy. That, yeah, I would agree that that is extremist, Layla. I was hoping for something lower on the scale that would be considered extremist before that point. Really? Okay. I actually really like that principle. The religion of middle. A lot of good can come from that. Manu, no. Okay. I would agree that that sounds like just something that people say. The only reason that I trusted it was because it was a Muslim that told me that. And so I sadly trusted. Because other than believing some pretty weird things about her own religion, she was a pretty even-tempered human being. Religious stream. Human king that existed. Huh. Guys, my throat. Ugh. I agree with that. I think if it's being forced on anyone, that's an extremist view. He talked about that? I have no doubt that he had a lot of wise teachings. I mean, he must have. Yeah, like we don't all have hot drinks laying around. I'll be fine, guys. No, I don't have a kettle. I'm not British, and therefore don't require tea every 5 minutes. Take that. sucks. Oh, Manu. You have your religion and I have mine. I'm actually very grateful for this conversation. I'm glad that I got some other perspectives today. The more you know. I may still not believe in your God, but I have more respect for your people. Your people, wow. How do I sound? People who follow Islam. That was supposed to sound poetic and it just sounded racist. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kenzie. Go right ahead, Yellow. It's a beer kind of day. Uh-oh. Okay, if you said anything after and, it got cut off. Do you have any way to contact a girlfriend? Their relationship is already ruined by the fact that your friend is lying about her age and putting her own girlfriend at risk. By the way, lying about your age and dating somebody is illegal because, oh my god, that's just so harmful. You're lying to somebody so that they will both break the law and their own moral standards. That relationship is ruined. That's not a relationship. That's a lie for the sake of a relationship that isn't going to end well. I mean, what is she gonna do? Wait until she's supposedly turning 18 and then be like, I mean, if this girlfriend who is 18 is even sort of a decent human being, I'm sure 15 is already like on the very verge of being too young. When did your friend say she was turning 16? And when does she actually turn 15? Because this is not good. August 1st, so that's... When does... August, that's a long time away. When does the girlfriend turn 19? Okay. Last month. So... This is a not okay relationship. This is genuinely not okay. Kenzie, that's literally against the law. That's legitimately illegal. Everywhere. Like, it's not like, well, in this state it's fine, in this state it's not fine. And this state has this law that protects us. We're like right on the cusp of everything, so we can pick and choose based on where you live. This is literally illegal everywhere. That is a child, and I need you to reach out and solve this problem. Like, I genuinely need you to tell somebody. Because, first of all, an 18-year-old dating somebody they believe to be 15 and not turning 16 until August is kind of crazy. already. Like, I know I have an age gap with Quinn, but I would never do that. Not at that age, and not with that big of a gap. That gap is bigger than ours. Like, we were never, first of all, we were never 15 and 18. I knew her when I had just turned 18 and she was well into being 16. And your friend is lying and is actually a whole year younger. This is not good. We were also friends first. We weren't, like, there to date. Well, that's not being honest. Both of them are kind of weird for that. Walla does not excuse the groomala. Please tell someone. Like, that's kind of gross. Also, come on. Who doesn't know the visible difference between somebody who is saying they're 16 and... Yes, you should talk to your girlfriend. Somebody who's saying they're 16 and who is actually 14. And, like, not that into being 14. August, September, October. This is less than 4 months. This is about actually almost exactly 4 months of being 14. So not even halfway into being 14 versus somebody who's halfway into being 16 looks really different. Especially, wait, are they in person? Or are they just online? I'm trying to deduce whether or not the 18-year-old is, like, pretending not to know. I'll just wait for it. They are online. Oh, okay. You're not allowed to say who it is. Is it someone in our community? Who? Are you serious? Is this somebody that I've talked to in chat before? Which one? The 18-year-old or the 14-year-old? Or both? Please DM me privately and tell me who it is. Is it somebody who's, like, in chat? Regularly? This is not your fault. You are not in trouble. Please just tell me who it is. You're not in trouble. I'm not gonna, like, curse her out or... Oh my god. Wait a second. I thought she was 16. Do you have proof? Jesus fucking Christ. She told everyone that. Do we know the girlfriend at all? Is the girlfriend somebody who is in this community? In the community even slightly? Dear God. Hey Kenzie, is the 18-year-old in the community at all? Like, even if I wouldn't know her personally? Kenzie, are you there? Hey guys, yeah, I'm gonna get off and deal with this, cause this is not a small thing, and I want to, even though it's not my job, I want to be able to protect people who are in this community. So I'm gonna get off real quick and put everything back in order here and deal with this exactly how you think I'm going to. You will have updates soon. I might come back later, probably not. This might be just stream for today. I love you guys. I will see you soon.